All right, so I got my AR-10 308. I've been shooting it for quite some time. Let's talk about it. All right, firing from about 115 yards, going to 225. These are all pretty unconventional firing positions, so every time you get set up, you're gonna have to find yourself again, which is part of what makes it fun. Yeah, here's 425, and then you're gonna have about the 550 yards here, and you can see that the further I get out, the longer I take to get my follow-up shots. But this is 425 laying in the prone, which allows me to shoot my follow-ups a lot quicker too. All right, so let's do a quick rundown of what I got here. Pretty basic Aero Precision build. It's the M5 AR-10 large frame AR 308. It's all Aero Precision except for a few things on there, and I wanted to keep it that way because of fitment issues. You know, I didn't want to run into problems with pin lengths or the upper and lower matching up or anything like that because of it not being standardized, right? So you got your Trigicon 4-16 by 50 AccuPower. Fantastic optic here. Love having the throw lever on there. These are capped turrets, and I wouldn't change that for this rifle. I wouldn't change it at all. Midwest Industries quick disconnect scope mount, Magpul bipod, Magpul magazines, Magpul UBR stock. Great stock. You know, it's great for this rifle, that's for sure. You got a Precision Armament muzzle brake slash hider on here. At the time, this was the one to have, I believe, you know, that did both well. You paid for it too, though. It's, you know, it works really well, and I wouldn't change it after I've using it for so long. We got a Ballistic Advantage 18-inch rifle length gas system barrel on here. I do not have an adjustable gas block. I know a lot of people talk about that, having an adjustable gas block, but once I put this on, I've never had an issue with it. Tightened it down and just used it. So I don't know how an adjustable gas block would benefit me. I've shot different weights of bullets, 145, the 143, 168, 170, and probably quite a bit of stuff in between too. Hunting cartridges or hunting rounds, you know, you got your precision rounds, your basic ball, that M80 stuff, Lake City, that Federal Lake City stuff, all works great, never have an issue with it. I can't think of a time that I've had any type of feeding, ejection, any type of issue. Like I said, all the internals are Aero, bolt carriers are Aero. The charging handle, that's the Radian. I wouldn't change that for anything. They're by far, in my opinion, the best ones you can get. I got them on my other guns. The close runner up to it is going to be what Bravo puts out, Bravo company. They got a really good one too, but I still wouldn't choose it over this. By far my favorite charging handle. 20 round SR25 magazines is what I like to use. It fits right. You know what I mean? When you're laying down and shooting and stuff, it's not too long, it's not too short. It's 20 round is I think the sweet spot for it. Magpul grip, and that's that for this M5 build. And I did build it. I put it all together. I assembled it. I'm not, you know, not a whole lot to it, and that's why I kept it simple with going with the AR or the Aero Precision parts as much as I could, because I didn't want to run into issues. I wanted to have a gun that's reliable, that I can shoot. So yeah, What about the ammo? So the ammo I'm finding with 308 and trying to get those super tight groups, that it can be, it can go one way or the other. Going back to the rifle, is there something I would change about it 3 years down the road? Yeah, if I could do it all over again, the one thing I would change is put more of my, I would have bought a higher end match grade barrel. Not that there's anything wrong with this one, but I would really like to see what it could do with a really high end barrel. And I think that's where you really see your money that you spent into a rifle give back, right? So I find that the Federal 168 grain Sierra Match King bullets, they do well. That's what I've got it zeroed with. I've got a lot of those rounds. That's what I use. I've shot that round out to about 850 yards with good repeatability. But I just got a hold of a bunch of this Federal Lake City M80 ball stuff. And what I'm starting to find is in not much, the groups don't really seem to degrade with the cheaper ammo. I understand that the further out you're gonna shoot, you're gonna want a heavier bullet, like that 168 grain, or what is it, the 175 grain from Federal also. And that M80 ball is 145, I believe, or 143, 145. And I was shooting from 550 yards and in 550, 450. I skipped the 300 spot. I didn't want to move the target. Then I went 200, 100. And I feel like I'm getting the same amount of hits with both ammo. I did put it into a ballistic calculator when I got to 450, 550, changing the weights. When I was shooting 100, 200, obviously I didn't do anything. I just, right on in there and getting good hits on a 12 by, no, I'm sorry, it's not a 12 by, it's like a 10 by 17 inch steel target. But the problem was I wasn't getting any good feedback because it was actually one of my pistol targets. So it sits at a cant and I'm not getting any, like sometimes you would hear the metal and sometimes depending on where you hit it, you wouldn't, but you would see the paint splatter until it needed repainting. But the difference between the ammunitions, not a whole lot. I understand that a 145 is not going to carry it out to extended ranges, something like 850 yards. And that's where I think that heavier bullet is going to really, you'll see the differences there. So for what this gun is, I think it's fantastic. It's a gun I've carried hunting several times. And it's good for just shooting those, not long ranges, but those intermediate ranges, where your AR-15, a 223 bullet might come up just a touch short on the repeatability of it. This is going to send it in there really good. And of course, all the benefits and all the drawbacks of shooting 308 apply, right? It's not 6.5 Creedmoor. That's a whole nother animal. Shooting an AR-10, if you're carrying it anywhere, these large frame ARs, they're heavy. There's no doubt about it. And the barrel on there is where you're gonna feel that front heaviness of it. So if you want to go with something like a pencil barrel or something like that, you can save weight there. But this is just a government profile. I think it is and I think Ballistic Advantage advertises it as a medium lightweight. I'm not quite sure. So it's not a medium and it's not a lightweight, but it's somewhere in between. And this, it's a heavy gun. There's no getting around that. So all in all, this is a gun I think everybody should have in their lineup, a large framed AR. Absolutely.